Practical Anarchy, A Guide to Self-Determination, Dickie Dread. And this is number 11 in our mini-series, which addresses things that either come up on a regular basis or people have requested because they're not in the book, or just things that are not generally covered by the book. And we've done all the ones that are on the list that people made. We're going to ask for a new list soon, if not today. Today being whatever it is, I don't even know what the fucking date is, to be honest. But this one came up because of as the site progresses, we get more people involved, and we've had to put some processes in place. So, just want to try and explain some of those processes and our thoughts behind them. This is also the first time I've tried to use the academic rigour I normally put into essays, but also keep it accessible to those that are not so inclined to the academic type writing, and also help people with dyslexia to a certain extent. So, the title is Why an Anarchist Space Still Needs Boundaries. A recurring criticism of anarchist projects is that any form of moderation or control is authoritarian. If anarchy means freedom, the argument goes, then surely anything should be allowed. This is a misunderstanding of anarchism that Practical Anarchy has already dealt with at length. Anarchy is not the absence of structure, it is the refusal of imposed, unaccountable domination. Every anarchist space that has functioned for more than 5 minutes has relied on shared norms, boundaries, and active participation in maintaining them. Without this, power does not disappear, it becomes informal, unaccountable, and concentrated in the hands of the loudest or the most aggressive. Part 1. Freedom of speech and the purpose of a space. Freedom of speech does not mean that every space must host every form of speech. A practical anarchist project has a purpose: discussion, disagreement, learning, and experimentation around anarchist ideas as they relate to real life. Speech that actively undermines that purpose is not being silenced when it is refused a platform. It is simply being redirected elsewhere. This distinction is explored in Practical Anarchy section 18. Harm is not limited to physical force. Persistent disruption, intimidation, or deliberate derailing are forms of social harm, even when framed as just words. Speech exists within relationships. When speech consistently degrades those relationships, it stops being liberatory. Part 2. Why we don't let any old meme through. Memes are arguments in compressed form. They bundle assumptions, values, and conclusions into images designed to provoke reaction rather than reflection. Left unfiltered, memes tend to replace discussion with signalling. They reward speed over thought and drown out slower, more careful contributions. Over time, this shifts the entire tone of a space. This connects directly to Practical Anarchy, which looks at how platforms reward content that captures attention rather than deepens understanding. A space flooded with low-effort content quickly stops being usable for anything else. Humour is not the issue. Humour that replaces thinking rather than supporting it is. Section 3. Abuse, name-calling, and the myth of let them fight it out. A common suggestion is that abuse should be allowed because people can defend themselves. In practice, this recreates hierarchy. It privileges confidence over insight, aggression over care, and stamina over thoughtfulness. People with less time, less appetite for conflict, or less social power are pushed out first. This is exactly the dynamic described in Practical Anarchy. When hostility is normalised, domination reappears without uniforms or titles. Allowing abuse does not create freedom. It selects for a narrow personality type and excludes everyone else. Section 4. Why we vet those who get in. Vetting is not ideological purity testing. It is intent filtering. Entry questions exist to establish whether someone is here to engage, learn, argue in good faith, or build understanding, or whether they are here to disrupt, derail, or provoke. A real example. Someone described themselves as a capitalist anarchist, and they openly stated in the entry questions that they were here to cause trouble. We banned him, her, or possibly it immediately. When I say it, I mean a bot, of course. Interestingly, this is not in the essay, but Elon Musk classes himself as a capitalist anarchist. So there you go. That is not censorship. It is refusing to host someone who explicitly announced hostile intent. This is consistent with practical anarchy. No one is owed access to a space they intend to sabotage. 5. Hate talk, conspiracy thinking, and the limits of tolerance. Not all ideas are equally harmless. Some narratives dehumanise groups, replace analysis with scapegoating, or shift blame away from actual power structures. These ideas do not expand understanding, they distort it. Practical Anarchy looks at how conspiracy thinking often feels radical while quietly reinforcing the systems it claims to oppose. Allowing this material does not open debate, it erodes it. Refusing to platform such content is not authoritarian, it's protective. Section 6. Balancing openness with care. Disagreement is welcome, critique is necessary, sharp argument is healthy. What we try to limit is bad faith disruption, abuse disguised as honesty, and noise that overwhelms signal. Practical Anarchy makes the point that maintaining a space is itself collective labour. Moderation is not about control for its own sake, it's about keeping the space usable. Anarchy without boundaries is not freedom, it is disorder. A disorder always benefits someone over another. Section 7. A living, imperfect process. None of this is claimed to be perfect. Moderation involves judgment, and judgment is always fallible. The difference is that these decisions are explicit, open to critique, and grounded in the stated purpose of the project. This reflects the broader argument in Practical Anarchy. The aim is not chaos. The aim is a space where people can think, argue, learn, and build, without being drowned out by noise, hostility, or deliberate sabotage.